Imagine you had two TVs running. The only thing both of them played were the shows The Voice and the movie Heavy Metal, non-stop, 24 hours a day. And that's all you were allowed to watch for like a year. What kind of movie do you think you'd make afterward? I imagine that Odessa would be the type of movie you would imagine. Odessa stars Sadie Sink as the title character, a farm girl living in some type of post-apocalyptic world whose dad was a wanderer, a person who wandered with some type of magical guitar to give hope to the people living in the dystopian world. We are told that he did it to comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. Great line. He passed away and left his daughter this guitar to pick up where he left off. After Odessa's mother passes away, our hero sets off on her journey as the, quote, seventh son. The film does explain this, and bring about hope and change in a world that no longer has it. Odessa is an instant guilty pleasure for me, and one that I think critics are wrong about yet again. Let me address their general criticism and offer an alternative view as to why I think this could achieve a cult status if it is seen by the right people. There are not really any three-dimensional characters in this film. That is one criticism. That is valid. Our hero quickly learns that the world she is entering is hostile, barren, and not at all empathetic. She meets a dancer at a club named Yuri, and through some kind of chance encounters, they quickly fall in love, even though Yuri is some kind of slave performer to one of the villains, deliciously played by Regina Hall. The characters are very surface level, yes, and they appear to only be at the whims of the plot. But the best character in this movie besides the lead is the world itself. This movie is all style, but this is an example where the style makes up for the lack of substance for me. This world is some kind of odd mixture of Mad Max, Repo the Genetic Opera, which I brought up in my review of Emilia Perez, mixed with cyberpunk meeting folk-like music. It's an odd combination, but one that works in spite of itself, or maybe because of itself. Here's a weird poll for you. Did anyone play the video game The Artful Escape from 2021? Odessa is like that game semi-brought to life, even down to its prog rock vibe and lone musician. The two lovers are very metrosexual in their demeanor. The male dresses feminine and the female dresses masculine. But when they are together, they both portray this bashful innocence, like they are longing for a place in a world that discards both of them. I think this fits in well with the cyberpunk aesthetic. The world is being ruled by a reality star turned dictator named Plutanovich. Apparently he absorbed all of the world's plutonium and used it to fuel his entertainment show and to brainwash everyone into believing in his will. It isn't really fleshed out that much, but it's shown enough throughout the movie that I could use my imagination of a tyrant depleting people of the resources for his own gain. The singing here is really awesome. Man, I did not know Sadie Sink could sing like she does in this movie. She sings her head off. The themes of the music are mostly about love and freedom. They're sung really well. Even though this is a low-budget film, so the production is not exactly first-rate, I got much more feeling of joy in this movie than I did in films such as A Complete Unknown or even Snow White. Odessa has so much more charm and innocence to it, and while it does have many flaws, I'm willing to forgive them because the movie is made with a certain level of chemistry that always wins me over. If you saw my reviews of The Last Showgirl or The Dead Thing, I said in both of those reviews that I will always value flawed ambition over any movie made with think tanks in mind. The characters are surface level. The world is full of intrigue and not enough development, and the ending comes way too abruptly. And I wish that Regina Hall had been in the movie more, but the core of this movie and those dazzling, beautiful blue eyes of passion in Sadie Sink are what keep it together for me. Once we get to the island where we meet our main villain, it's like we are watching a live showing of American Idol, including a charismatic person who is all about the glitz and the glamour, only in service of feeding the helpless people nothing more than disarray, because that's not only the thing they know in this world, but also the thing they only seem to want. This is like a deconstruction of those talent shows and tries to give us a peek behind the curtain of how fake it all is, down to there not being a real audience in attendance. I don't think Geremy Jasper, the writer and director of this movie, was able to fully get into the meat of this juicy steak and really deconstruct this cult of celebrity, but I think he got mostly there, even if he stumbles within the last 5 or so minutes. Odessa is a movie that will not be for everyone. It will divide many people, and a lot of people will probably think that it's all style in service of nothing. But since this is my channel, all I can do is tell you whether or not I enjoyed it, and I really liked this movie. It's on Hulu, so I do recommend it. But go in expecting a weird movie that may not hit all of its targets, but it hits the bullseye just enough and maintains its camp level throughout to the point where motivation became secondary. And just get absorbed in its weird world with a beautiful singing performance at the center of it. I give Odessa 3.5 stars out of 4. This was a nice surprise for me, and I know that it's quote unquote bad in some ways, but sometimes you want a movie with a great heart, and this one has that. So never mind the haters, smoke a bowl, and have a good time. Okay, so Odessa, what is everyone's thoughts on this? I'm probably the only person who is going to give this movie a positive review, but we all have guilty pleasure movies, and this one instantly became a guilty pleasure for me as I was watching it. Anyway, if you like this, please like and subscribe. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.